Hey, I'm easy either way. Um,
This is Adam's shit, so
so, um, a little housekeeping first. Um, I'd like everyone to give themselves a point of inspiration,
Oh my
right?
god.
And the reason why is because we're scrapping the old system of inspiration that we were using for this game because no one was really using it. And we're just going with the standard that we use in the rest of our games. And so, to give everybody a little base to start with, everyone will get a point of inspiration. And there will be a second point of inspiration for whomever would like to tell us what happened last week. Or 2 weeks ago, as the case may be.
We went to a big party.
Yeah.
We went to the Sea Maidens Fair. We met with Zardoz Zord, who let us in for free so that we could all participate in his festival. His band was playing. There were a number of crazy events. There was oh god, I've already forgotten the name. Drink your beer, spin around on the bat, tell a story. Something in charm. Chug and charm. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Which was won by Nim. There was a pie eating contest, which was won by Corsonis. There was a keg carrying contest, which was won by Exidia. And I feel like there was another event. Musical chairs was won by Exidia also with the mimic chair. There was some gambling done. There was a good time had by all. We talked with Zardoz Zord a little bit, who was real interested in the background of the story that Nim told during the Chug and Charm, which was the retelling of our rescue of Neverember, with more specifics along the lines of the Mind Flayer and Orcish Wizard. We kind of blew him off on that a little bit. He kept calling piety parody, and a good time was had by all. And oh, I forgot about bungee jumping. The walk the plank, which I believe Cass won.
I had to win something. I couldn't walk out empty-handed.
Yeah, and then end of the night, we partied. Well, we partied into the early morning. Some of us, and that was it. We wrapped up session.
Fantastic. Point of inspiration for yourself. And I believe the decision was made to return to Troll Skull Manor and stay there for the evening. Things are going to get a little strange time-wise. We're going to sort of hit fast forward a little bit. And so at any time, if there are things that anyone would like to do, either within the party or around Waterdeep, certainly let me know. First and foremost, however, we're going to talk about what happens over the next 3 days. In short, the living quarters are being fixed up, and y'all will have some ability to instruct the workers that Neverember has hired. Let me move you guys. Can everybody see that? There shouldn't be any lighting or anything on there.
It's all fixed up. It's so pretty.
Yeah, so it's looking all better now, right? And what is going to happen over the next 3 days is y'all are going to be choosing like where you're going to stay, what you want the room to look like, and perhaps going around with your, I recognize, limited resources, right? And we can sort of play it by ear and collecting stuff so that you can decorate your room as you'd like. So, if we want to take a moment, right, to sort of negotiate who's going to be where and take a few moments to think about what your room is going to look like. Let's sort of have those discussions now, and they can either be in or out of character. I don't particularly care, whichever y'all feel like doing.
Okay. I want a room that only requires one flight of stairs, bare minimum.
Okay, well,
That's fine.
Right. And
I
what
want
I
the
would
attic
point out,
still.
nice. What I would point out is that this flight of stairs, right, actually leads to this door on the second floor, right? And so if you wanted to take the second, third, and fourth floors as your living area and just operate a tavern on the first floor, right, that would be the easiest way to accomplish what you're talking about, Kaz. It does eliminate the possibility of renting any rooms out, right?
Oh, what do we ever have plans? Do we ever talk about what we were going to do besides just the tavern?
I think we did want to try to rent out the second floor.
Okay. Well,
That means we're going to be bunking up because I'm only seeing 5 beds on this map. So
bunk buddy. Hey, we're trying to get bunk.
Well, what I want you guys to remember about the maps, right, is these are just the best maps I could find of Troll Skull Manor without creating them myself. So, like, if you look at the fourth floor, right, the stairs here are in the middle, right? Just because there's only one bed, right? There are 2 rooms. This is another room over here. You could easily, you don't have to say, oh, well, that's just storage, so that's going to be storage. If somebody decides like, oh, like I want to stay there, right? Great. The turret, right, basically exists, right, on the 3rd and 4th floor, but the only entrance is on the 3rd floor, right? And there's a little trapdoor here. Well, there's a little trapdoor here, I should say, and there's a ladder here, right? And then, so that's 3 bedrooms, right? You have easily 4 and 5, right? But you could also cut some of these down if you want to.
Doing.
I just want a room.
Okay.
Let's see. I would love attic space. And I am so tempted to take the top floor of the turret, but I think Corsonas wants like the tower room, or at least did earlier, and I will not be invading his space if he does not want that.
Oh my god, I gotta see the rooms.
Let me not be zoomed super in.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. You're not at a computer. You've got a bit of a disadvantage going, Oni.
To be fair, I didn't care which room I take.
Okay. Well, here's one way we can accomplish this. How would people feel about just rolling a D20? Right? And we'll get some numbers, and the highest roll goes first.
There we go.
And or picks first, and then if I'm not saying this to be mean, I promise you, but it's just if the dice work the way the dice normally work, then Ted, I guess you'll be picking last. I'm sorry.
That's-
Unless we want to roll d12s.
Oh my
Let's roll
God.
d12, see what that does for our odds.
Okay, I like it.
Okay, good. Only a 3.
Yes!
Bingo. Yes. Fantastic. Love it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Ted, I'm so happy.
Yeah,
This game
that's
was
pretty
rigged.
spectacular.
It was rigged from the start.
I don't know
Okay.
if Ted,
so-
Ted, you are muted. I don't know if.
I did not know that. I have been talking this whole
Oh.
time.
Oh no!
Every single time it hurts more.
Oh.
Oh, you were saving energy for that 12.
Oh no, I was like, no, we could go with 20s. It's fine. We all know no matter what die I roll, I'm going to be and then
You're first.
uh yeah, I will happily, like I said, take the room with the turret. I don't care if Nim, you occasionally abscond into the turret. It's got windows. Feel free.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, are we interpreting that as you're getting this turret space on the 3rd and 4th floor?
I honestly, however the 4th floor wants to work, it's fine.
Okay.
I assume it's
Yeah, because I mean,
shareable space.
right, because as the map works out, there's no entrance to the turret on the 4th floor, but it's just a map. We can change that however we want.
Yeah, I mean, I never mind.
I'm walking through this motherfucker's room.
Okay.
Like I said, but you couldn't hear. Now that I realize it, I assume there are windows. So if Nim climbs along the roof, Nim is welcome to be in the turret.
No, I plan on going through the ladder that's in your room every day. I do plan on that, yes.
Brother
Nice.
man from the 4th floor.
All right. Yeah, Ted, if you're down with that, I'm certainly down with that. Piety. So okay, so you've got that turret space on the 3rd floor. Piety, you're up next.
Okay, I'm thinking. Here's my thought. I think
Yeah.
on the last map, I was thinking
Mhm.
this guy right here, the
Okay.
kind of bottom one on the 3rd floor. But I feel bad because that one has a giant bed, and I don't fucking sleep.
Katie, just take the bed.
And also, right?
You don't have to
Anyone is
Don't-
welcome to like bunk with me or whatever.
Right.
Like
let me
that's
let me try
fine.
this again. Pay absolutely no attention to any of the furnishings that are in any of this place.
Okay.
Right? Because if you remember in the previous map, this place was fucking trashed.
Yeah.
Right? And there was nothing here. And so what we're talking about is what's going on during these 3 days where Revere Neverember's people are here fixing stuff up, and which physical space you are directing them to fix up in what particular way. Right. And so if you want that space and you don't want there to be any space large enough for a human being to lay down, right? Because you just don't do that, well, then that's your business. You can have them put
Okay.
inclines in that entire room.
No one's allowed to be comfortable in this fucking room.
Right. Like, I don't know what Piety's up to, but if that's their jam, that's their jam. All right.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I'll take this guy. I also like it because there's like this little bathroom thing like connected, and it has like a little double like fireplace thing.
Mhm.
Like, come on, that fucks. I like that. Yeah, all right. I'm going with that.
Love it. Max.
You
Sounds
already
like
know,
you're
baby.
taking that turret on the 4th floor so that you can walk through.
Yes.
So
Yes.
basically,
You can still take a room on the 4th floor. That's what I was saying.
I know.
basically, and I know other people have seen this, but I also know just from previous conversations, Ted's the only person I can count on to get this reference, right? And that is basically, Max, you're Laszlo from Real Genius.
Yes. Yes.
I get that
yes,
reference.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're just
Tony, yes.
occasionally, right? You're just occasionally walking into the closet, disappearing. Like, all right, fantastic. No, Lazarus just lives down there. Cool. All right.
What I love
Listen.
about this is if Nim, because there's no there's no bathroom on the top floor, but there's one right off of Corsonas' room. I'm just imagining middle of the night. Can you let me in? Corsonas, open up.
Yeah.
I
Well,
gotta pee.
Yeah. I fully intend on while giving you your time and your privacy, I will be walking through frequently.
Hey, you
Okay.
busy? Oh, you were? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concept? Oh, that's
What are you
Oh.
working on there?
Alright,
What's
that's
going on in
right.
here?
The worst roommate I ever fucking seen.
Tyler, I'm going to give you the next choice. I know you tied with Kaz, but given the fact that Oni A has already declared he doesn't care where he is as long as he gets a room, and B, that they don't have access to a computer to see what's going on, I think you having the next choice makes sense.
Okay. What I'm thinking is that I've got these big crystalline antlers. I don't want to be going up staircases in windy ways and narrow bits like that. So I'm gonna stick to the second floor. And I like all this community space here.
Okay.
I think that's good to keep. So I'll just snake my way through and take this little one right here,
Okay.
because that's the most direct to get to without having to go through a bunch of turns and space.
I've certainly got no problem with that, right? I just want to point out that if you're renting out rooms, right, it sounds like you may be renting out rooms now interspersed between the second and third and maybe even fourth floor, right? If everybody's comfortable with that, right, then great. I've got no skin in this game, right?
Yeah, I mean the third floor does have this room that we could use as public space. I don't know. I kind of think running a tavern's enough, and renting rooms is not
I agree.
in my interest. But
Okay, well, look, right here, now that I think about it, if you're interspersed between all the floors, you still have rooms that aren't going to be occupied, right? And if you either choose at a later date, right, to rent them out to try and make extra cash, you can do that. Hell, if you encounter people along the way that you need to give a place to stay, or you just have buddies and you want to have a sleepover, having extra rooms is not the worst thing. So you're going to be here, is that correct?
yeah, in here.
Okay. Oni, given your previous desires, as they were stated, I think we'll give you the room right next door because that's the other bedroom on the second floor.
Hey, me and Exhibit, come on.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so everybody's got a room. Petunia will have some options when they return. I will admit I'm mildly upset only because I was really hoping someone would take this room. Just because if they did, then Corsonas and Nim would have to walk through that room.
I'm sorry. That's what I thought was the main part of that was the room I was intending to use.
Oh, you're talking about this room, not this little spot.
Corsonas gets this room and then the little tiny cute office space that I will be
gotcha.
dropping from the roof onto his desk. Yes.
I gotcha. All right, fantastic. Love it.
I was so down to make Corsonas' life a living hell if you gave me that option.
Listen. Yeah. No. I plan on being nice, but I am absolutely in that space for sure.
You want to smoke?
I love it. So, Corsonus, as your space begins to take shape and you've got a couple days to rummage around, right? And either get your personal shit and bring it in here or acquire new shit, right? What does Corsonus's space start looking like as it starts coming together?
It is unfortunately very Spartan. He didn't really come here with much,
Mhm.
given that he came here more with a mission than an intention to stay. And in terms of going out and getting stuff, one, he's kind of broke, and two, he's never really had a need for much. He does acquiesce in one thing and gets a little bat house to put up for his little buddy Echo.
Mhm.
Um, he does, get the normal standard accoutrements of bed, a desk full of weird inks and papers, and then most of the rest of it is lined with bookshelf. And for whatever reason, a second chair, even though there's no table to go with it. There's no, and it just two chairs facing each other.
Okay, so bed, lots and lots of bookshelves, it sounds like.
Mostly empty.
Um,
Yep.
Mostly empty. Little cage for Echo, right? And just two like random, probably mismatched chairs.
Absolutely mismatched. Yes.
Okay. Excellent. I love it.
This is my first time ever living on my own. This is a little strange. I hope I'm doing this right.
Are you gonna be in the bathroom or?
Feel free. I'm a morning person.
Pisses with the door open. Oh yeah.
All right.
No,
Well,
no. Nim's had roommates before.
excellent. While this is unfolding, let's go across the hall, right? And see how Piety has directed the workers to set their room up and what, if anything, they've brought along to make this place feel more like home.
Hey, so Heidi doesn't really have like a very strong sense of identity. And so I think a lot of the stuff that they have, like, there's not really a specific theme, there's not really a specific color, nothing is like there's nothing particularly like, oh yeah, this is like Heidi's thing. It's just like a bunch of random stuff. No bed. I think that they would get like a couch probably, just like in case people want to like hang out, but like she's probably not using it all that much. I imagine her like resting in the bathtub, just like probably fully submerged, honestly, because she's gotta breathe. She's fine. But definitely like one thing that she would want to have is a desk and like a big like bulletin board kind of deal. And like we'll start well, first of all, have the book that Corsonus got her on the desk, and we'll be reading that. And kind of ripping out her own journal pages and putting them on the bulletin board and kind of like just like classic like tax like connected with string type like nonsense going on. And is just trying to piece together like, okay, what do I know about what has happened to me? Writing down like specific memories and like things that like I remember this happened for sure. Here's like this thing and this thing that happened to me the other day that was super weird. I think last night was that, or I guess a night ago before the festival night. But like just trying to make sense of it in an organized way, and it doesn't end up being super organized, but just like having it out. I think that's important. And like she gets like one house plant just to make it look less like sad. That's it.
That's spectacular, and I can't tell you how happy I am that in a heist-related campaign, you've got a corkboard with red string going from here to there to the other place. So that's great. I would like, if you don't mind, you mentioned that there's not a real strong sense of identity, so you've just got like collected random crap. I imagine Piety, perhaps even like not picking trash up, but picking up things that were just discarded by other people. And like, oh yeah. So if you don't mind, I would like to know 3 of the random objects that you have picked up and put in your room.
Okay. Ooh, I'm trying to think of things that like might have been left out by the people on our street. Maybe just like a bunch of random books or like a bunch of like random old like maybe some empty journals that people like just like never use, stuff like that. Just like desk full of random shit and only some of it is actually like important things that she's actually using right now and the rest of it is just like yeah, I'll get to it. I'm sure. Oh, it's fine.
So the other things are things that in Piety's mind are these are things that make it look like this desk is being well used.
I live here. Yeah, I do things that people who live do, like
love it.
rest, looks at couch that has not been sat on once. Yeah, it's fine.
Love it.
What else? Okay, so that's a thing. Definitely like some random like rugs and shit, and she can like prestidigitate, so like she's cleaning things. Not just grabbing random nasty shit off the street, but like she's making sure like, is this gross? Probably not. And I think she would end up, I imagine her during the day when like not much is around to be like done and she's kind of like able to just do whatever maybe during the day. I do imagine her walking down to the docks and maybe seeing like, oh, maybe some people are trying to like offload some shit off some boats and whatever, and trying to avoid people she might know. Because she doesn't quit her jobs very well. But like maybe I'm trying to think of boat things that people might be getting rid of. But yeah, and I think that would maybe be a little bit of a nostalgia. Like, yeah, this is something that I've dedicated a lot of my life as I know it to. So
cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Ooh, maps. Definitely maps.
Excellent.
Old maps that they're not using anymore.
Right. And so
we'll put that on the corkboard.
Right. And so given that there are maps that have just been discarded, they're probably A, in terrible shape.
Oh yeah.
Right. B, right, probably not of any place close that would be like super useful in the immediate. And C, right, there's probably like not that you would necessarily know, but there's probably a real good chance they're not all that accurate.
Yeah, they're just really bad.
But they probably have some nice colors on them and lots of weird, funky looking shapes. They look good up on the corkboard. All right, I dig it.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nim, what does your tiny little spot look like?
You're too happy.
Budget?
Oh my god. A folding chair, an Xbox, and a TV.
No.
A bathtub made of complete gold.
Warmer. Actually, what he is going to try to do is he would like to if this is a tower room, so it's got like a vaulted and pointed ceiling, so the resting facility is absolutely a hammock that's like between points in it, and it's like taking up a majority of the high space. Like it's a big stretched out 4-point hammock with like a lot of not particularly, I want to say like expensive, but incredibly soft fabrics, and none of them match. He picked them out purely on texture. And as well as like the purchase of a few more instruments to like he says that they're like for the wall, but he makes sure every single one of them like suits him well.
Mhm.
As far as like his capability of use. And then he like walks through Corsonus's room and sees some of the accommodations and just says that the like to whoever's like taking the purchase order basically um that like some things are gonna have to get changed and like requests like very nice bed covers and sheets for Corsonus's room.
Okay.
And yeah,
Nothing. Carry on.
yeah. Um,
Let me interject here. I'm just checking. I'm not pushing at all, but do you two need to have a conversation about that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'd said if you want to have a conversation,
No,
we
no.
can.
Carry on. Carry
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent.
And then finally, the last thing I would like to do is pay some messengers
Mhm.
to actually run to uh 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 New Ulman campus and get in touch with a couple people there because I don't think all of my stuff got returned to me and I want to make sure it's out of my room and I get
Okay.
it back. So I just like hit up some of my friends on campus and ask for some of my shit back. And I might or might not get them back. But that's it.
Yeah. You receive a letter back, right? Just hand delivered by some kid, right?
Right.
That just reads, "Yo, I tried to get your stuff, but they're holding all your shit until you pay up, Nim.
Shit.
Like I don't understand. I don't know what they think they're going to get for it. It sounds like they're just being mean. Hope everything's cool. Later, your boy Brisket."
I love Brisket. Brisket's my favorite guy.
I turn the note over and just draw a picture of a middle finger and send it back to the kid with a
Awesome.
copper and say, "To bring this back."
Love it. Love it. Somewhere you just made Brisket's day. Okay. Two things. Love how you laid that out. One, like I imagine that much like the description you gave for how you chose the fabrics for your hammock, right? I imagine that Nim probably used a very similar process in whatever additional instruments he picked up. Meaning Nim strikes me as an individual in part because of interest and in part because of means, right? That wouldn't look for, the coolest looking or just the fanciest or the most expensive instrument, but rather like knows a thing or two about instruments and would take a look and be like, oh, you know what? Like this one with a little love, like I can get this thing really purring, right? And I won't have to pay an arm and a leg, right? And so you probably got what initially looked to be like some beaten up, well-worn instruments lying around, but you can make those things sing.
I absolutely agree. Like one of the necks of like the loot that he gets is clearly made of a different wood, but it's been like actually really well glued in place and like
yeah, and you just gotta adjust that truss rod the right way, and you know how to do that, right? Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. Like they don't look good for sure. But that makes it more lovely to him. If it looks busted as shit, but it does what it needs to, and it does it the right way, that's what deserves love.
Love it. Fantastic. One question for you, and that is, well, maybe it's two questions. It's all the same general question, I guess. What, if anything, do you tell your mom? And are you showing this place to your mom? Have you shown this place to your mom?
Oh God. Oh,
Would you like us to come back to you on that question? So you've got
No,
a
I
little
think
time.
I think I have the right answer,
Okay.
which is that I haven't been home in a couple of days, which isn't that particularly weird, but it is definitely like time to check in.
Mhm.
And so I would probably just like send another kid out, and he knows where to go.
Mhm.
And I tell him that fell into some good fortune. Not the kind of fortune we were looking for, but in a better spot. I have this place on Troll Skull Manor that we're fixing, that me and some new friends are fixing up. Don't worry, that's not as bad as it sounds, Mom. I love you very much. Please come back when we open, and I give her whatever date we are prepared to open for.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't want her to see it yet.
Gotcha. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. And what we're gonna do, sort of just for the structure, right, of this session, is we're gonna put a pin in that question of when are we opening, and we'll get back to that. We don't need to figure
Wait.
that out right now.
Their mom.
Right?
I got a mom. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Gotta look hot, man.
That's my mother.
Right.
I'll kill you.
Yeah, catch me first. Oh my God.
Spectacular. Exidia, what are you telling people to do with your space on the second floor here?
I think Exidia gets a bed in there like pretty quick.
Mhm.
And then a good like armchair, like a lazy boy.
Mhm.
But then realizes that she's gonna sleep in the chair a lot more often than the bed, and has them take the bed out. Then puts in like some shelving along a wall that she fills with like rocks that she's found, neat little rocks. And then has a big like open area with like a rug on it, just a nice little rug.
Mhm.
And then turns her focus to this like balcony that they've got, and um, is very tempted to just bust the whole wall down and open that thing up, but is told that that's not a good idea because it's
Okay.
and
I can absolutely see Exidia telling the contractors, like, yeah, just clear this whole side of the room out. And the contractors being like, nah, listen, ma'am, I'm sorry, but a lot of this is load bearing. And
yeah,
there's 2 stories above you. So I'm sorry, we're just not, that's not going to work.
yeah. And with that answer, she gets is fine with it, with the door. Then out there, like wants them to build a like an overhang on top to where this is like covered. That way she can hang like a hammock chair out there. Or at least put in like a beam to hang one from. Not really
Gotcha.
worried about covering it from the elements. And then like any like guardrail, knock that shit off.
Okay.
So there's no guardrail, and then installs like a rope ladder that she can like like wind up and then let down to climb up to this.
Is this
Cool.
Chekhov's?
balcony.
Is this Chekhov's balcony? Like,
Just a walking safety hazard. Exidia's
What she's thinking is that she will be able to just arrive via this balcony instead of going through normal means to enter the room.
Someone's gonna break in.
There's a door.
There are plenty of doors. They'll keep the door, the actual door to the room.
Right.
But yeah, this way, you know, there's a little ladder up to the balcony.
Very cool.
Okay.
Very cool. I'd take it. Now, I think I know the answer to this, but sleeping in the chair as opposed to the bed, what's that about?
That's about Tyler, who slept in a chair instead of a bed for a long time in the room that he used to live in, and that was
Okay.
fun. That was because it was more comfortable.
Yeah,
and,
it's
and
fine.
still does it
Xivio's
to
got
this.
a big, heavy head that they're not used to.
okay, right.
He
That's
still
what,
does this, and like bemoaned the fact that we moved one of the armchair into another room where it's less convenient for him to like
Right.
sleep long hours in.
Look,
Yeah.
Not nap, like night sleep.
I had a nice lazy boy that was my grandpa's that was in
Mhm.
my bedroom, and like
Mhm.
it was positioned for like video game playing.
Right.
But like it kind of started whenever I was working at the hotel where I
Mhm.
was working nights. So I'd get home in the morning and I'd sit down and like watch some Netflix or play a game and then just fall asleep in the chair.
Yep.
And I mean that chair was incredibly comfortable,
Right.
more comfortable than the twin size mattress that was next to it.
I gotcha. So
But
yeah,
yeah, I
okay.
figured
Well, it
she's got
sounds
a
like
heavy head, so this way she's
Yeah.
not like fully horizontal.
yeah, it sounds like this was half what I expected to be, and half new, delightful Tyler knowledge, which is great.
A lot of Tyler
Um,
lore learned today.
I'm curious, how's she feeling about this relatively new heavy state of her head and these new protuberances and whatnot?
I think she gets them caught on stuff and like whacks them on corners a lot, and that's
Mhm.
frustrating. The actual weight of it's not that big of a deal,
Mhm.
because she's fairly strong, and then Fearbold, powerful build, all
Mhm.
that. So it's not like hurting her neck or anything like that, but it's just like awkward to be she was already like I'm already big and now I'm bigger in this place, and it definitely doesn't help the like feeling out of place
Mhm.
that she's been dealing with living in like a city instead of like the wilderness.
Mhm.
But she's getting used to it. Has adjusted her wardrobe to have like button front shirts.
Right. Button fronts, stretchy V-necks.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Cool. Excellent. And yeah, I'm absolutely certain that that balcony will just remain a nice, friendly balcony for the rest of the campaign. And nothing will take advantage of the fact that there's no railing. And in fact, speaking of nothing taking advantage of the fact that there's no railing, let's go to the party member with whom you share a wall. Kaz, what are you instructing the people to make your room look like?
Oh man, I just really want like enough space to get all like Cass wants to have a place of like calm and like little naturey, so there's a lot of earth tones going on here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of succulents and just random fucking plants, and there's one like marijuana plant hidden in there. But also it's kind of a frat kid, like the obnoxious one where you got like whatever the D&D version of a Pulp Fiction poster would be,
No.
but also and also like a pinup of like sorcerers of the
So
of the month calendar.
So you've managed to
going on.
find yourself a poster of Drizzt.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh God.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but like sorcerer of the month, it's just a whole bunch of like really hot men in it for a month, for every month of the year.
Okay.
And he got a ceiling mirror on over his bed. He's What else is going on here? You know, he got this little work desk that he practices. I want to say like cup stacking. He got cup stacking, like his daggers held there. He got a little book on how to like take care of plants. His bed is like, he has a very like basic bed, to be honest, but he throws one of those large, really, really weighted blankets.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's not really going for a lot. He just like, I want my color palette here, my plants here.
Right.
And also, now that like you gave me the chance to never use the stairs,
Mhm.
there will
Now
be a
let-
chance.
Right.
I
Let
know
me
it's
give
Xvideo's fault.
you. Right. Let me give you a little description of the space that you're in.
Okay.
Right? So that you can answer the question that I know at least I'm dying to know. I imagine some other people are waiting to hear how you're going to get in and out reliably without using the stairs. Now,
Without using the stairs.
right, you are on the front, the southeast corner of the house, so sort of the front bottom of the house as we're looking at it, right? There are 2 windows along the south side of the room, right? They lead out to a tiled roof, right, that covers the kitchen portion of the first floor. If you follow that towards the front of the house, right, you would have to drop down, from the roof over the kitchen onto the ground. If you follow it to the back of the house, you will pass a window that is Exidia's room, and then you'll pass the little balcony that's attached to their room. There's also a doorway into your room sort of from the north, which just leads to the rest of the house. So if you'd rather make your entrance and exits from some other location, that would be great. But what is your plan?
Okay. This has been the thing that's been on my mind for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Kaz realized, like, if they're going to be living in a fucking a tavern / their home,
mm-hmm.
that they're going to have to eventually use the stairs one day.
Okay.
One day. They can't keep avoiding it. So I just imagine he probably goes, whoever with him on like the first floor, like just coming in,
mm-hmm.
he goes up to them like, okay, so I know the stairs thing has been, kind of weird to see. Can you just take me upstairs with you? Like, he's like, just hold my hand, okay? Don't make it weird. Don't make it weird. I just want to go up the stairs. And I think he trusts Corsonis the most, and he probably would ask him if he ever gets the chance.
Yeah, I can take you up the stairs. I'm not really sure what the.
No,
it's fine.
Let's go.
Is it like a fear of the? I can push you if that would help.
No, come on, let's go. Just
all right.
And you go like it's gonna take him a bit to just even go up these damn stairs. Like, fucking hands is super clammy. It's just like pure fear going up these stairs. But eventually, I want to say we make it up the stairs. But as the days go by and Exidia puts that balcony out there, it's like, oh, yes. I see. I think I can minimize myself for a couple of days. She probably won't notice, right? She probably just gotta hope she's not in the room when I sneak in. But I think that's basically, unless Exidia's in her room and he sees that, he goes like, basically try to use her balcony to get in and out. But he probably would just like end up like leaving one of his windows cracked and climbing through there most of the times if he has nobody to help him go up the stairs.
Okay, so it sounds to me like a combination of going in and out through one of your windows and on the roof, occasionally using Exidia's balcony, and attempting to do so without Exidia knowing it. And mixed in with that is when others are around that you trust, trying to build and increase the number of positive stair experiences that you have had.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah,
sound
basic-
about right?
Positive stair experiences. I never expected to hear that, but yes.
Okay. Well, excellent. So, and this is all going on over the course of the next 3 days. You see a lot of these contractors. You don't see Neverember, right? You don't hear anything about a bill. He's said that he's footing the bill for this portion of it.
You've been saying Neverember. Do you mean Volo?
No,
Okay.
no, I mean Neverember.
Okay.
Volo's not covering shit.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
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 Thank
no,
you.
Yeah. Volvo's fucking cheap, man.
Right. Well, in fairness, Volo gave you the property. Now, granted, like it was in pretty shitty shape, right? But it's still a property in Waterdeep, right? And just as a reminder, Neverember, right, as a thank you for rescuing him and his buddy Floon, said that he would cover the costs of renovations to make the place livable for y'all.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And it was the Castlelanters, right, who offered the big sizable loan, which they've agreed to offer at no interest, right, to cover the renovations necessary, to cover the renovations necessary to make this place a functioning tavern or tavern inn, whichever way you guys decide to go, right? And B, right, to cover the costs associated with just getting the business up and running beyond renovations. To that end, let's take a moment and talk about how the business is going to run, right? Mechanically speaking, right? Functionally, right? The way that the way this works is there are, just like in a real business, there's costs and there's income, right? If the party does absolutely nothing, right, then the way this works is there's going to be a die roll multiplied by 10 for costs, right? And a die roll multiplied by 10 for income, right? And you figure out, you subtract the costs from the income and you hope that you're still in the positive, right? Now, there's a couple ways, right, that the party can affect this, right? If we remember, I guess 2 sessions ago, the proprietor of the Bent Nail, Talosvanar Fellbranch, right, promised Nim that he would provide a list of the various different guilds that a business such as a tavern might need to interact with, right, while running said business. They have since done that. I don't know, Nim, if you want to share that with everyone, but one of the things that you can do is contact some of these individuals to try and either bring the costs down, right? Or increase the income. And mechanically, what that'll look like is if you're successful in bringing the cost down, that multiplier, which currently stands at a 10, right? If you're successful in bringing the cost down, that 10 will decrease to 9 or 8 or 7. And if you want to focus on trying to increase the income, right, that multiplier will increase. Everybody with me so far?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Now, the ways to do that are pretty simple, right? All you got to do is describe to me how you think you can affect a either positive change on the income or a negative change on the costs, right? Just as an example, right? Probably the simplest example. You know what? If I take a shift or if I take a couple shifts working, right? That is a staff person we don't have to hire for that time. So that's what I'd like to do. And I'd say, okay, well, what do you think you're going to do here? You want to wait tables? You want to work behind the bar? Right? Okay, give me a dexterity check. Right? Or give me an acrobatics check. Right? And, right, if you beat the DC, right, you will decrease the costs by 1 in this case, since you're trying to save money. If it's a situation where you're trying to increase the income, right, then it increase that multiplier by 1, right? The good news, right, for most of you is that if you choose wisely, right, and choose things that you are skilled in, and particularly skilled and have proficiency in, right, then it's going to be real hard, right, to not affect a positive change, right? I mean, most of you have at least something that you've got like a 5 or a 6 or a 7 in, right? And these DCs, you know, aren't going to be super high, right? So, you know, that's the good news. The bad news is Nat 1's -2 in the wrong direction, right? So if you Nat 1, it's a problem, right? Now, on the plus side, a Nat 20 is a +2, right? A 2 in the correct direction, whichever we're talking about. So there are some opportunities to hit home runs, and there's some opportunities to fuck up real good, right?
Are in advance, everybody.
We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Right. Now,
We
right,
forgive you in advance.
another decision that y'all have to make is just mechanically, how much do you want to gamble, right? Because part of it is about this multiplier and trying to change the multipliers and change the math in your favor, right? But that multiplier is just going to be used on a die roll, right? Now, there are 2 ways to do this. Either each 10-day, you pick a member of the party, right, to roll a d20 for costs, and a member of the party to roll a d20 for income, right? That is going to provide you with the best chance for making a ton of money, and it's going to provide you with the best chance for losing a ton of money, because you could roll a 1 and a 20 on either die. And that's going to be a huge difference, right, in money coming in and money going out. The other option you all have, right, is if everyone in the party rolls a D4, you add all those numbers together and use it against the cost or income multiplier, right? And that will give you, just because of probabilities, that'll give you much more consistent results. You're much more likely, if you're rolling D4s, to end up with somewhere, and totaling it all together, to end up somewhere between, I don't know, like 13 and 17, right, on both of the dies, which means it's a lot less likely that you're going to lose a shit ton of money, right? Yeah, but it's also a lot less likely you're going to make a shit ton of money, right? So what I'd like to do now, right? I know that's a lot of information, and it's probably super confusing, right? So, right, what I'd like to do, if everybody's up for it. Well, first, let me ask: anybody have any questions, right, that immediately pop to mind, right? And short of Adam, what the fuck are you talking about? Because we'll work our way through that, right? I imagine plenty of you have that question. But if there's any specific questions, right, now's a great time to ask.
Can I ask everybody a question?
Certainly.
Okay. Can I work behind the bar? I just want to, come on. I just want to work behind the bar. I want to be a bartender. This is like the perfect job for Ken.
Leaf will kill you if you try to take his job, I think.
That's true.
But we can share the job. It can't only just be one bartender.
It is if
I mean,
one of them is a
he's
ghost.
I feel like Liv will be cool. We got to talk this over with Liv, right?
We certainly could. I just think that, it was sort of Leaf's idea to turn this into a bar in the first place.
Well, yeah, but
We still
you
haven't
gotta.
tried anything he's mixed, though. We should remember that.
I believe in Liv's abilities. I just think I'll be a perfect fit. I think you enjoy the help.
I think we need to go ask Leaf.
Oh yeah, Leaf.
I want to use my journal.
We should
Journal,
really
bar.
buy a slate and maybe some chalk,
Oh.
something reusable.
That's a good idea.
Plus, I suppose we eventually will need one for specials, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
Don't you have those for?
Oh yeah.
I've never worked
Oh.
in a place like this before, but I've had to. I've had to spend some time in some.
Oh, me fucking either, but this just seems fun.
Been forced to spend time in bar.
Put this on your resume. I think it's go really good.
We'll go get a slate and then go talk to Leaf.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, did anybody actually have any other questions?
Well, great. Let's talk with Leaf, and then we'll move right into doing this a little bit, because I think it's going to make more sense when we just do it than listen to me ramble on about it. Okay, and so we'll start knocking some of this stuff out. I know we're not quite open for business yet, but this is where we're getting a little funky with the timeline, just so we can get a sense of how this is going to work. And so we'll say that this is what it's going to be, right, for the first 10-day that you're open. And then we can talk about that. But it sounds like we'll say, for the sake of this conversation, that you have managed to borrow a slate from one of the contractors, right, who has been using it to make various measurements on things that he's got to cut, and then wiping it clean when he has to do the next set. And he said, as long as I get that back. And off you go. You want to talk with Leaf?
Yeah, I want to talk with Leaf. Oh,
all right. You
need the slate. Or we'll put a
You-
display. We'll put it on the bar. I don't know. Wait.
Yeah, you don't see any sign of Leaf,
What?
right? Well, I mean, let's not get too concerned.
We can never
Leaf's
see Leaf in the
invisible.
first place.
I
Right.
mean, that's true.
Right.
I guess it's too clean right now.
Right. And so yeah, are you all out at the bar, like around here, say? Just sort of in this main area?
Yeah.
Yeah. No Leaf, but if you go looking around, right, you try and follow a sound of tapping that is not hammers hitting nails. It's a little hard to pick up at first, but Kaz in particular, once you sort of lock in on it, you can follow it around back into the kitchen area, right? And you just see a little rag sort of flopping around in the kitchen doing a little dusting, right? Trying to knock some of this sawdust off of these new tables that have shown up and new like workbenches.
Oh, look, that's my favorite employee right there, Leaf. Okay, we got this little thing for you to write on. I just came here to talk to you.
You
Gosh,
hear a single knock on the table.
fuck, I forgot about these knocks. Yes. So, I wanted to come down here and talk to you. I thought it would be best for me to be a bartender as well. I'm not sure if you wanted that to be exclusively you. Like, I want to talk this out with you before we get this all started. Before any mix-ups come along later.
It's takes a little bit, right? But eventually, right, you see I can't bartend,
Oh, what?
right?
What can you do this?
You then see a cup come off of one of the shelves and it attempts to float, but it is shaking all over the place,
Oh.
right? Before it drops onto the table. And then he just underlines, I can't bartend.
Okay, I totally get that. Okay, personally, I just like to have you around. You're one of my favorite people here. If you want, you can literally just fuck around, clean, whatever you want to do.
You feel a hug around your waist.
I try to hug. I try to hug something.
It is unsuccessful.
I do. It's like the thing, like you hug, like you're hugging nothing. You just got your arms wrapped around.
Right.
I'm not.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. There you go, buddy. We're gonna get through this together. I'm happy that you're happy.
You hear a single knock on the table.
Yes. You don't. Cass is smiling hard as fuck to know that he can be the bartender.
Okay, well, let's start there, right? Kaz, can you make me what do you think? You think an acrobatics check?
No.
No? What do you think?
No, I am thinking of acrobatics check, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to throw these things out here.
Yeah, that's what this is about. You convince me, not the other way around.
Cass is the perfect bartender for these reasons, right? very high perception. They can see everybody that's like trying to get orders in, even while crowded.
Okay.
Right. Really good at acrobatics. You know, we can do like flashy mixologist shit. Right. Sleight of hand as well, just in case. And, you know, I got some charisma. You know, I got some insight going on. And I can also do like the help actions. You know, help people out. People come to me for advice.
Right. Those are many great reasons, but we need to choose one. Right. Like if you want to go with like, oh, like I'm super perceptive so that I've got an eye at everybody at the bar. Right. And nobody's going to have to wait. Right. To get a drink because I'm going to use my perception to make sure that everybody gets served quickly. Then great. That would be a perception check. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay. Is that what you want to do, or do you want to try something else?
I'm going to pick sleight of hand because he's going to try to be super fucking fancy with the bartender.
Okay, you're going to try and get like Tom Cruise cocktail going on back there.
Basically.
Right, and attracting more people to the bar. And okay, let's see that sleight of hand roll. And this is going to be, let's say an 8 to 12 is just flat even, is no change, right? If you get a 13 or more, right, it'll be a +1 to the income coming in. And if you get a 8 or less, it'll be a -1. I'm sorry,
Okay.
7 or less.
Okay. Watch this. Okay, public bro. Okay.
Oh, very nice. So dangerously close to just knocking it out of the park. All right. So yeah, you're back there flipping bottles around and, you know, dropping shots into, you know, big mugs of ale, doing depth charges from like 6 feet. Like, people are loving it, right? And they're spending extra money as a result, right? So let's
fucking go.
Yeah, that's +1 to y'all's income modifier. Who's up next? Who else has an idea of how they can either get costs down or get income up? Actually, before we go there, so Nim, do you want to share this guild list with people, or are you just going to be on top of that shit?
I do indeed want to share, but based on how things went with our last neighborly investigation, if it needs to be the case that I take point on this, that is fine.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll share my list of all of the guild masters that at least Tally was able to correlate for me.
Okay.
The good news is about a lot of this is that because we're not becoming an inn, it might not be important that we join the guild of the innkeepers. It couldn't hurt, but it's not critically important. It would be very good, I think, to get friendly with the where did she go? Trincis Barleyborn, the Baker's Hall, the Master Baker's Hall. I thought they would be fun to rub elbows with, and certainly the Vintiers Distillers and Brewers would be good people to be friendly with and see if we can set up contracts with.
Cool. Anybody feel like helping Nim out with these, or is Nim going to run around and take care of these?
I can help. I don't have any real skills for this sort of enterprise I could walk around and advertise, but this seems more helpful.
Be glad to take you along. I'll put my arm around your neck.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is the two of you, it sounds like, are going to talk with Trinsis and with
Hammond Craddock.
Hammond, right? And so I'll leave it up to you who's going to make which role for which, right? And if you're working together, right, and someone has proficiency in a skill and wants to help with something, I will allow that to be a roll at advantage. So let's start with Harmon Craddock from the Vintners, Distillers, and Brewers Guild. And we'll just
You
let's
mentioned.
say Harmon stops by. Right?
Oh,
Here's
okay.
that you guys are he has heard through the I've heard through the I've heard through the grapevine that you guys are gonna open up a little drinking establishment here.
Indeed. I take it that you're the man to get acquainted with to do so?
Well, I'm a representative of the organization that you should get acquainted with, if you want to do so. At least if you want to have the highest quality beverages in town. And he has a wide shit-eating grin.
I mirror his grin almost unerringly. I think indeed we do. What sort of contracts are there available?
Well, you're a new enterprise. I can offer you a standard contract. And he just hands a contract. It's like 2 sheets of paper, not super complicated.
I think what I would like to do
Mhm.
is I would like to give the contract to Corsonus and
Mhm.
give him Bardic Inspiration to review it.
Okay.
And based on what he might be able to determine from that role, I want to potentially use my background feature a little twisted sideways, city secrets, to get a feel for if this guy's messing with us as new and particularly young idiots who are
Okay.
opening a bar.
Great. So you want to give Corsonus Bardic Inspiration on whatever skill, or you want to give Corsonus a Bardic Inspiration die so that when Corsonus uses whatever skill they use to investigate this contract, right, you can then use that information plus your city secrets skill to try and discern whether or not this guy is fucking with you. Have I summarized that correctly?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, great. Corsonus, do you have any
Nope.
idea how you'd like to investigate this contract?
Being completely unfamiliar with contract law of any kind, he is just going to read over it, and while he is doing so, keeping an eye on Craddock to see if he is, doing the impatient. Come on, just read it and sign it. Come on,
Mhm.
or if there's more, come on, I got you on the hook.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to
Okay. Gotcha.
Just trying to make sure we're not getting
Mhm.
played. But yeah, I'm a little farm boy. I got no idea what I'm doing here.
I trust you have instincts, at least intellectually, to understand the language
Probably.
and good insight. That's what That's what I believe in you for this.
Okay, so I will give you 3 options based on what you've described, right? You can make an insight check, which is an indication that, yeah, you're going to be reading this thing, but it's more looking for his reaction, right, as you're reading this thing, right? I'll give you the possibility for an investigation check, right? Which is just literally combing through the pieces of this contract. It's not, your forte by any stretch of the imagination, but you do a lot of reading, you do a lot of studying, you're good with the written word, right? And so that might help out. And finally, if you choose, you could also use a history check, which is just like you've read lots of shit, like, and sometimes like that intersects with some things about business occasionally. You think you remember that.
We'll go with door number 3.
Okay.
Of course, this is
All right. Fantastic.
I got a bardic inspiration. Might as well use it
Yeah.
for a 24.
Okay. For a 24, you're pretty confident, right, that this may have just come out of like a book of boilerplate contracts. Like this is just, it's dead simple, right? There's nothing convoluted, right? It's basically, look, pay monthly dues to the guild and we'll get you guys like first dibs on the best booze because we can buy in bulk.
Oh, okay. I thought this would be more complicated. This is we don't use paper contracts. More just standard merchant agreement back selling fleece. But yeah, this should be fine. It should be fine. Pay our dues on time, get the benefits of guild membership, and all that.
Mm-hmm. And Nim, you're using this to try and find out whether or not this guy's on the up and up, combined with your city secrets, right?
Yeah.
Can you populate that city secrets for me?
Absolutely. Like I said, this is definitely a sideways interpretation of the background.
Well, look, I mean, not for nothing, but you're talking to the right person for sideways interpretations.
I know. What it mechanically is telling me is that it's like it's traveling effectively, but like I have street smarts is like what it's described as.
What I will say based on this and the 24 that Corsonis got, the following, right? This is Waterdeep, right? Any sort of service industry stuff, right? And there's going to be dozens, right, of guilds that want to get their hands in your pockets, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, most of the time it's a pretty good thing. Like that's how you can guarantee that you get the best stuff is if the better guilds you can afford to join, right? This guy is absolute low level. I mean, you're brand new, right? He's probably just out trying to like increase his client base at this point, right? So this is absolutely par for the course. The other thing that right, is that oftentimes to get the best deal, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? And more than anything else, being in touch with the right people, right, and having the right relationships, right, is what's important. But with this joint effort, right, he says, you know what? I was trying to play it cool, but I recognize you. Right. You you saved that rich kid, didn't you?
Actually, we did.
Well, it's probably a pretty good stink to have on you. And I gotta say, the Distillers and Brewers Guild couldn't hurt for us to get a little bit of that stink secondhand. You know what I mean? It gives you the little elbow shove, right? So,
Aye.
what do you say we give you an introductory offer? And that will deduct 1 from the modifier of the costs multiplier.
We may proudly display that we are friends and perhaps good allies in the future with the guild. And
Wonderful. Just hang this sign behind your bar.
Perfect. Easy said, easy done.
Excellent. He will instruct you, since it sounds like the next person you want to talk to is Trinsis. He will instruct you to head down to the trade ward, right, and give you directions to the Master Baker's Hall.
You did so well the first time. Forrest Gray, you want to come along?
Sure. I didn't realize. I mean, I figured business here would be far more complicated than trading bags of fleece, but yeah, seems like it's mostly the same, just more
mostly.
paper.
Exactly. Mostly the same, more paper, more people. Yes. I assume. Leave.
Definitely more people. Lots more people.
As you approach the location that Harmon directed you to in the trade ward, you smell the Baker's Hall before you see it. And not surprisingly, it smells like delicious, fresh baked bread. And it smells that way. You're probably about a block and a half away, right? And you can see just plumes of steam coming out of a round chimney. And as you approach, it looks like a, pretty well worn 2-story building, like nothing special, right, about it, other than the front door, which is the shape of half of a giant French baguette. Right? As you open the door, a small half-elf gentleman barely looks up from his desk, right, and eyes you. He's still looking down at whatever papers he's working on, but he looks up over the top of his glasses at you for a little bit, and as you just sort of stand there, he goes, "Dudes go in the box on the left."
Actually, we are here to.
About that,
We would actually like to investigate allying with the guild.
And he puts his pen down and sits straight up and looks at you. He goes, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Are you not currently guild members?"
Currently, no.
And
The old place on Trollskull is is under renovation. We're the owners.
and you would like to be a guild member?
We would like to.
He's gone. He jumps up, takes off, and about 35 seconds later, a rather tall woman, right, approaches. Terribly sorry. Poor Schmiel is not much of a people person. Trincis Barleyborn. Pleasure to meet you. I understand you're here inquiring about guild membership.
Yes, I think we really want to do business with the guild. We're not looking to bake or anything, right?
Right.
Well, why don't you explain to me what it is you're looking for?
We are looking for a supplier for our tavern. That is all.
Wonderful. Opening a tavern, are we? Well, a guild membership will allow you the opportunity to purchase some of the finest bread from some of the finest merchants in the city at a set price that is negotiated to be the best midpoint for both baker and purchaser. We'd like everyone to have a fair deal. That's how we continue to provide spectacular service.
Great. Exactly what we're looking for.
Excellent. Similarly, they provide you with a contract and say, all it takes is first bit of dues, and we'll get our first shipment out to you as soon as we can.
Perfect.
How would you like to go about trying to alter this contract in your favor?
Do you have an idea?
Not really. Go ahead.
We're in the merchants ward, right?
Mm-hmm. Trade ward.
Trade ward.
The trade ward, yeah. I wonder, perhaps if you are at all familiar with, and I am going to start talking about shipping companies and suppliers for like general goods, like in this area. And I'm gonna like kind of spiral this one in like a yarn and wait for her to like pick out a name that of like a supplier that I've heard before when I've been in the docks ward, because everyone who works in supplies would have worked in the docks in shipping, and I'll just kind of pick around for a name that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Right. So you were trying to schmooze your way right into a bargain. That to me sounds like a deception check.
I agree.
Okay. Wonderful. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Spectacular. Yeah, no, I'd feel real good about that. So yeah, as you talk in generalities, right, about imports and exports, dropping names of various ships that you've seen and sometimes companies that you see. Trinchus gets very excited as you mention one in particular, and she explains that that is where some of the best barley in the world comes from. It's very difficult to keep stable while it's shipped. And to her knowledge, this is the only company that can do it reliably. And that if it's the case that you have an actual contact with them, right, she would love to talk with you about it further. And that decreases your cost modifier by another one. So now you're at -2 on the modifier. Spectacular. Also, you get her talking to the point where she says, you should probably, maybe not immediately, but you should probably talk with Justin Rassick at the Guild of Butchers. Right? I imagine that would be pretty helpful for any establishment that is serving food and drink. And as long as you're out and about trying to make new connections, if you could stop by Zoran at the House of Light, I'd consider it a kindness. I think he could use the business.
Absolutely follow up on those contacts.
Okay. We're gonna put a pin in that for now,
Yeah.
right? And check in with Piety and Exidia. Do either of you have any ideas how you would like to either change the income or costs equation?
I'm thinking. Okay. I think Piety would want to, especially in this first week, focus on advertising that we are like cool new place on the
Mhm.
block in the dock ward. Come check us out. Sick of the same old shit? Me too. I get it. You should come down to the haunt because we're cool and we're new. And
I love
probably
it.
just walk back down to the docks and just like totally capitalize on that with sailors and be like, are you bored? Are you sick of the same old shit? Yes, I get it. Like, just totally, maybe fuck around and make like business cards or like fly, like something, just totally trying to like
Right. This
get
is
people to come.
the exact question I had. I love where your head's at, right? And I'm curious, like, what sort of format does this take? Is Piety going down there with like a sandwich board on, right? Is she going down there with one of those flippy signs that she's trying to spin around and shit? Right? Is she just going around with like leaflets that she's handing out to people? Or is she literally like carnival barking on the street about this new inn, or any combination of those, or something else entirely? Like, what form does this take?
Mix of the last two. Business cards and just like yelling at people.
Great. Let's call that a persuasion check.
Yes.
Right. And similarly, right, a roll between 8 and 12 means nothing, right? That's a null effect. 13 or higher is good for you. 7 or lower is bad for you.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
God. I'm scared. Oh my god, can I inspiration that? Because fuck that.
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Piety.
Okay.
Damn.
It is actually kind of funny if this doesn't work though.
Right. The good news, right, is that you haven't pissed anybody off.
Hey.
Right. The bad news is there's a ton of people that are just walking by and are at first you're thinking to yourself, well, I thought I was pretty good at this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, blah, blah, blah. And it takes a little while. Actually, just for shits and giggles, roll me a perception check real quick.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yeah, classic.
it takes a little while before you realize there's like 15 other people down here that are barking about this place or that place, or you should come here, or check out New Joe's. It's better than Old Joe's, right? And then, I mean, it gets real messy when the dude from Old Joe's shows up and starts a fist fight with the dude who's barking about New Joe's, and now people are just steering clear of the whole thing, and it's a mess. But like, you haven't had a negative effect, so at least you can count on that.
I'm just gonna hang around
Xidia.
and watch the fight.
Excellent. Love it. Xidia, how about you?
Exidia is gonna go and find like a nice like empty wall that's kind of like public facing a little bit on the outside of the building.
Okay.
And I want to try to use like, and I'll go out and like see if I can collect like, you know, bits or something, buds. But I want to try to druid craft like a mural on the
Okay.
out of like flowers and moss and vines and stuff on the side of the wall.
Love it.
And like try to have that set up as like something to catch the eye and like attract people maybe. And then also maybe see if I can find like a street artist, like someone who paints a picture of you really fast kind of guy, and see if I can like persuade them to like set up shop to where people can like pose with the mural and get a picture painted of them real quick.
Okay. And so just so I'm clear, right? You are looking to create this mural on the side, on a public facing side, or the most public facing side of Troll Skull Manor?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Make people like stop and see the place, maybe duck in for a drink, understanding that like this is like not something that will definitely get people to absolutely come in, but will draw
Right.
attention to it and like make it stand out.
Right.
Kind of a touristy kind of thing.
Okay. I love it. Super creative, right? And let's say that while you are doing this, right? Give me a second here. I just want to. Oh yeah, absolutely. I needed to look at the Troll Skull Alley map real quick because, right, you're an hour or two into this, right? When your neighbor right across the street, right, they come out of Corallin's Crown, right? And there is fella Lefalier, right? A wood elf with long braided hair, right? Who they just look up at you. Excuse me. What are you doing?
Well, I guess like painting, but with like plants instead of paint, I guess.
It's a wonderful idea. Do you need? Well, would you like some help?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like much with like creative vision, you know. Maybe like if you've got like color composition tips, or you know, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I love to
well,
collaborate.
My composition tip is we should probably add more plants.
Yeah. It's a slow process.
Mhm.
Yes. More
Um,
plants.
Right. So Thala will join you also using Druidcraft, right? Occasionally they run back to their shop and bring actual plants out to help encourage the process, right? I will say, just for flavor, right, that you were able to convince a sketch artist to come see this, right? But they leave relatively quickly because no one
They're not getting
wants.
any.
Well, they're not getting any business, but not because no one's there, right? It's because the people that are there, and there seem to be a fair number of them, they're just enthralled by what's going on. So give me, let's call
Selfie
this,
just hasn't taken off yet. It
right,
will.
let's call this a performance check with advantage.
All right.
Because you managed to hit on something that your neighbor was super excited about. Ooh, boy. That was close to being bad. But no, like, yeah, people are super excited. You hear a lot of people commenting that, wow, they'd never seen anything like this. And why don't more places do this? And it's really pretty. And hey, like, isn't this building the old piece of shit? Right? Like rundown shithole? Like, oh, it looks really good. And hey, it's not just this beautiful natural mural that's being created by these two. Like the whole building looks good. Wait, you're opening up a tavern? Oh, maybe I'll stop in. And so you have been able to generate some more foot traffic, right? So the end result of this endeavor, right, is that you've got a -2, right, to the cost modifier, which is good news. So that is now, that multiplier is an 8. You've got a +2 to your income modifier. So that's now a 12. And so now comes the moment of truth, right? Do you want to select an individual to roll a d20 for the cost and then a d20 for the income, or does everybody want to roll a d4 and we add it together? And just a reminder of the math, right? And Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm sure you know this better than I do, right? But if you roll a d20, right, because you're only rolling one die, every number on the die has an equal chance of showing up, right? Which means you're much more likely to get a 1 on one die and a 20 on the other die. So you're much more likely to get big wins and big losses, right? If everybody rolls a d4, right? Well, just because of probabilities, those numbers it's probably going to pool in the middle, right? And so you're not risking nearly as much, right? But you also aren't likely to gain nearly as much. So ultimately, which route you decide really just boils down to how much do you feel like gambling?
Okay. Hear me out. I will roll costs, and we can weaponize my nat 1 rolling.
Oh my God, that's fucking genius.
I
I love it.
Ted,
I love it.
I'm kissing
Now-
you on the head. Oh my god.
Now, having said that, we know
It's gonna go so
it will be a test of, do I just roll a lot of nat 1s, or is it just not, it's whatever I don't
Nice,
want to
just
roll.
Is it
It's-
truly a
it's
luck
bad.
thing, or is it a numbers thing?
Exactly.
Yes,
gotta-
we'll find out.
And
Yeah,
that
we
raises the
have
question,
to now.
however, who's rolling for profits? Because that should definitely
Right. Well,
No,
and
definitely
Can't
not
do
be
it, won't
me.
do it.
I hadn't thought
Katie.
about this before, right? But if you really want to, right, I would let you choose a method for one and the other method for the other, right? Just to make it even more complicated and weird.
It might be because this is make believe and Tyler wants to gamble, but I'm here for the 20s on both.
I'm
Yeah.
here for the
I am
gambling.
too.
I'll
And the
roll the
thing
20.
is, The
Love it.
thing is Katie has had the craziest, funniest fucking luck on D20s. So I want Ted to roll one and Katie to roll the other one.
Why me? All right, fine.
Katie, you need to do it. If not, because you put your finger on your nose immediately.
Absolutely.
Whenever we...
I love how like I do that so much that y'all just know that that's like she's nose goesing it. God damn it.
You're the only one on camera.
We can't just assume that everybody does
Connor,
that.
if somebody says that they put their their finger on their nose before somebody else, I'm trusting them. All right. Let's fucking do this.
All right.
I'm scared.
want-
I'm scared.
All right.
All
I'm
right,
on
let's do it.
costs, you're on profit. You want
Yeah.
high, I want low.
Yeah. Oh
Boom.
god.
Awesome.
All right.
There's no
All right.
fucking way. There's no fucking way.
All right. I
This
just
is
have
so funny.
terrible luck. We know the answer now. It has nothing to do with what the dice
Oh
are.
my god.
Can I give somebody the help?
You
Yeah,
can't
it's
give
just
anybody the help action here, right? But I will let you use inspiration for one or both of these.
Oh my god!
I will use one of my own since I have 3 for.
Yeah, I'll use one. I have 2 left.
Let's
I
see
think.
that. Let's see those 2
I'm done.
in a row.
I'm done. I'm done.
There's no
I'm out.
fucking way. There's
That's
no
Good
fucking
night, y'all.
way.
I'm out.
That is
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try
unbelievable.
mine again. I'm gonna inspo again.
Katie.
Ted, you
Oh my god.
moved me into it. No.
We burned the building down. Now we're all just
All
like,
right. You know what? There's no
I'm
way.
sobbing and throwing
There's
up.
no way.
Oh my
There's
God.
no way. 1 in 8,000. 1 in 8,000.
mm-hmm.
This is insane.
You know what? You beat the odds.
my God.
You really did. You
Unbelievable.
are ahead of the game.
Katie, go ahead and use one of mine to re-roll that.
Thank you.
You know
feel
what?
like
At
you gotta
some-
let one of these slide. Like
at
one of
some
these
point-
has to be.
Katie, we should have swapped. You know what?
That's so true.
after-
What the fuck, y'all?
I feel,
All right. Well,
Okay.
it's been fun, everybody.
Well-
It's been a good
Okay.
campaign.
All right,
This
so we're
business
never
is going
rolling.
under in month
Right.
1.
Here's
Oh my god.
here's what I'm gonna do. And
This is all to
literally
set up.
just because I want to see it at this point. Corsonis and Piety, you each get an inspiration, right? If and only if, right? You swap places. And so Piety's now rolling for the costs, and
Let's do it.
Corsonis, you're rolling
Okay.
for the income. Just because I want to see how weird this gets.
There's no
you
fucking
just
way.
you just want the extra added soul crushingness of me rolling this nat 1 right
I
now.
absolutely do. There's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Oh
Okay,
my god.
okay, that's
All right.
fine. That's
All
good.
right.
That's fine.
The
Right. No-
cinematics, though, for the past
Of
10
having
minutes.
2 nat 1s on our profit and 2 nat 20s on our
Insane.
cost.
Right.
Oh god.
oh, just roll it. Just roll it.
Okay. So after all of that weirdness, right? What this would mean, right, is that in the first 10 day, right, you will make 104 gold, right, for the business.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, right, now's a perfect time, I think, for us to take our break. Although just before we go to break, I know that All right.
I don't care. I don't care.
In that case, welcome back, everybody. Let's see. Yeah, sounds like that first 10 day, right? After some really hairy, really, fraught
That's gonna haunt
rolls. Dude, that was terrifying. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna weaponize the fact that I always roll low on D20s, right? And we'll get to see, is it I just roll low or do the D20s just hate me? Well, this is the closest I've come to believing in God in a very long time, Ted. Like, that was terrifying.
Oh my god.
I think we have hit the truth, which is it's not bad luck. D20s just hate me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot.
But now you know. Now you know.
Oh my god.
The more
Now
you
you-
know.
Now you know it just feels like terrible.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, so the this 10 day goes pretty well. Couple things to note during this time period. First and foremost, it's probably maybe the 3 days have passed, so you guys are all at least set up with your livable spaces, and then we'll say another 2 days have passed, right? And like early in the morning, like 5:30, 6 a.m., there's a pounding on the door.
I mean, I'm not asleep. I'll go get it.
Right.
Excellent. So you open the door, and what you see are two individuals standing side by side. They are big. I mean, they're 6'1", 6'2". Like, neither of them really has a neck, right? They're not just tall, but they're wide, right? And it's difficult to tell, right? Like at one glance, you think, oh my God, these two are ripped. They are just jacked, right? And then you think about it again, and it's like, no, they're just big, doughy blobs, right? And that sort of goes like it, and you can't tell, is it because it's early, right? Is it because the light's not right? Like, what is going on here, right? And as this is going through your brain, the one on the left says, good morning, we're representatives of the brother and sister Sweet Sweepers. We understand you are opening a business. Will this business be generating trash?
I'd think most certainly yes. Yeah.
The one on the right says, would you like to pay our guild to assist in trash removal?
Tentatively, yes. Let me. Hey, no! Just like. Corsonis! Y'all
Huh?
are
The
talking
door
to me.
opens, drops into the office, walks through the room.
Give me just 1 second.
What's
My
going on?
colleagues are Can y'all come down here?
Right? Yes. Give me just a moment.
Tying
Speed
a robe
dress.
closed and running downstairs.
I just pull the comforter like a cape, wrap it around me.
Yeah. Presentable kings. Morning.
Hey, morning. They're from the Street Sweepers
We're not open yet.
guild. They're asking if we want to make a deal of some sort with their guild. I know y'all were doing that.
Oh.
Yeah.
are the street sweepers, are they like garbage collection or are they just street maintenance?
Why don't you roll me a history check?
Yeah. Oh, I got fucking jack of all trades. Let's see that do nothing
Yeah.
for me here.
I can assist.
Oh no.
I'm actually
Yeah.
trained in history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Hey,
Oh,
it's so
no.
early.
Yeah, I mean, it's early, right? And it made even worse. Like, it just so happens, right, that the low angle of the sun, it's bouncing off of something somewhere and hitting you right in the eye, and it's just making it difficult to concentrate.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. We would like help with trash disposal. Yes.
Wonderful. The one on the left holds out some papers. Sign here. We'll begin pickup tomorrow.
I do so without reading.
Is there some sort of fee that we need to pay now, or
The one on the right says, "Yes, there's a fee. We're not collections. We're new subscribers."
Very, very good at your jobs, I see.
The one on the right says, "Yes, we're excellent at our jobs. Thank you for noticing." They turn around and start walking away. All right.
I feel like that was a
He
good call.
closes the door.
That felt right.
Yo.
yeah, that seems like someone we very much don't want. Someone we don't want to anger.
Agreed. See, I thought they only just swept streets. I didn't think that they were going to be doing anything else, so. Oh, we have those names for the we were asked to go to the House of Light as well as the Guild of Butchers as well. We should make sure we do that as well. Coffee
Right.
first.
Y'all want to go
not yet.
back to bed for y'all look.
Is the sun even up?
Oh,
Yes, the sun is very up.
Oh,
more
okay.
horizontal directly in our fucking vision. Yeah, but
Right. Let me just, and I will go back upstairs.
You can see Cat. You can see Kaz in his boxers come through the front door. Hey, going. What's going on, guys?
Morning.
Just getting in?
Oh, nah. I climbed down.
Gotcha.
Yeah, nah. So who's those guys?
Members of the Brothers and Sisters of Street Sweeping.
It's early.
Oh,
Real
yeah.
early.
I forgot I had a voice. Yeah, I know. I get that. I totally get that. Breakfast?
I'm good.
Hey, I know how to make a good crepe, right? So I just think y'all.
Sounds fantastic.
Hey, okay. Oh, first of all, wait, what race is y'all? I forgot.
What?
Like what race are y'all playing, man? I totally forgot about this. 'Cause
Water genasi. Quotation mark.
I thought you were an elf.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Question mark next time. I just,
Elf, and then Corsonis. I don't think we've been told Corsonis is anything other than a human. Is that
Yeah,
right?
Corsonis looks entirely human.
okay.
Dark elf.
Looks entirely human.
I
Yeah,
Dun,
exactly.
dun, dun.
someone has. but I
Piety,
think
you don't get to
Corsonis
comment on that after your water genasi
don't.
nonsense.
I don't.
Hmm.
Look, I look like a water genasi. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool. We're cool.
No.
thought Corsonis has used his telepathy to speak to someone before.
Yes, I just don't know if that was ever explained. Like
Oh,
that was.
probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get it. You probably got to go get the rest of the sleep. I already did my fucking train, so now I'm up. I'm just telling you.
If you're up, presuming you and I have the opportunity to get dressed, do you want to accompany me to the Guild of Butchers or the House of Light later? I think Corsonis still wants to. I actually. I don't know. Does the cocoon want to come with us after it's emerged?
Well, yeah, I'm not going back to bed. I'm just gonna go make myself presentable.
Oh,
Throw some water on my face and
okay, yeah,
not
yeah.
wear my comforter wherever we're going.
I think it looks charming.
He
Yeah.
gives a little bow as best he can.
Oh.
He know how to rock a good comforter. That's I
Good
don't
style.
know.
Good style.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, now I got to go back upstairs to go get my clothes. I really didn't expect us to be leaving anytime
Why
soon.
the hell did you come down? Okay, I'll see you in a couple hours.
I mean, I'm pretty good at like acrobat. It's not gonna take me that long.
It's just that you came down in your underwear and then immediately were like, "Oh, I gotta get back up and
Gosh,
get dressed."
I do have a question in this circumstance, and based on what we heard earlier in the evening. Is Kaz in his boxers now going to try and get someone to hold his hand and walk him up the stairs?
Actually, no. I was gonna do
Okay.
them. I was gonna go through Exidia's balcony.
Okay.
She's
Well,
so asleep, probably.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
I'm on my way up. It's just the one flight of stairs. Kaz, just if you want to.
Oh, yo.
I mean,
Okay. Yeah, I should do it. Come on. Hold my hand. Just imagine I have clothes on, and I'm going to imagine that we're going up something else, like a ladder.
it's a very strange statement, but here we are. Second floor, Kaz and Exidia's room. Good luck.
Okay.
I gotta go up to the third floor.
Grown man shivering, going up the stairs and nothing but his boxers holding another man. I'm gonna get dressed and go.
Okay. So who all's going out?
I'll knock on Exidia's door and see if she wants to come.
Xidia will open the door. Well, where are we going? Some kind of guild hall?
Yeah, the butchers and then the House of Light or something.
Okay, yeah, I mean, better than sitting around here, I guess.
Very true.
All right.
By the
so
way,
it sounds-
you asked races. Exidia is a Firbolg.
Hell yeah.
I thought she was a dragonborn this whole time.
No, she grew horns, but she did not have horns
Yeah.
when we first met her.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And they're
Oh.
more like antlers than horns. They're just
Aw.
made of crystal.
Okay. See, I definitely did not know what the fuck was going on for a good while.
well,
On our
I'm glad that we got that cleared up. Yes, Max.
yes. just on our way, I want to be sure that I remark to Exidia that the mural is 1, beautiful, and 2, entirely genius.
Thank you. I honestly was just a little bored, but then people took interest, and I was like, okay, I guess that serves a purpose.
I don't think it has to have served a purpose, but it is wonderful and beneficiary that it did.
Right? Yeah.
Good
You know,
work.
actually, while we're talking about this, I think everybody did a really good job. Everybody, I think we should all just give ourselves a round of applause. We started doing little baby claps.
I minor illusion the sound of a roaring applause next to
Okay.
us.
Very obnoxious, like early in the morning.
I grin.
As this roaring, the sound of a roaring applause goes off, you hear a gasp and then some sort of high-pitched crying, right, from right next to you, and you turn around and you realize it's little Theo and his father are out for a walk, and you just scared the shit out of little Theo, and he's bawling again.
This
Oh
poor
my
fucking
God.
kid.
Just walk faster. Just walk faster, guys. Let's keep going.
You know, you should probably see some professional help. And I'll walk away faster.
Nice.
I hope he doesn't leave a review.
Excellent. So headed down to the trade ward. Coming from the north as you are, you will probably encounter the Guild of Butchers first. It's interesting in that it is a relatively nondescript building with just a tiny bit of smoke wafting just sort of out of the entire back of the building. It's not it looks almost like a thin layer of fog, that is just covering the back of this building, and it's just sort of hovering and floating lightly up into the air. And yeah, as you enter, there's a half orc who is air quotes chewing right on a piece of jerky, right? It looks almost like they've got a cigar in their mouth, right? She just says, "Good morning. Can I help you?"
Good.
Good.
No, you're good.
Oh, it was just going to be well. If the bakery reminded me of home, this is certainly even more so. We are from the newly opened tavern, the Haunt, formerly known as, I believe, Troll Skull Manor. Perhaps you've heard of our first week. No, it hasn't been a good week.
Come on, now it's our first week. I think we did pretty good.
No, we're nowhere to go but up.
There are lots of inns and taverns in Waterdeep, hun. How can I help you? And she holds out a bowl with just smoked meats in it.
I will happily take a piece.
Yeah, I'll eat some jerky first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
I think so.
Fantastic.
I'm good, thank you.
Don't mind if I do.
Right. She does a double take at you, Piety, right? And just says, "Look, I'm not judging one way or the other, but if you prefer some smoked fish,
No, I can't eat this early in the morning. It's just
understood, hon. How can I help you? Oh yeah, the tavern. You got a new tavern. Whoa, congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have already spoken with the Brewers Guild and the Bakers Guild, and we are hoping that we could form a business agreement of the same sorts with the Guild of Butchers.
Yes, Trincist spoke highly of you.
Oh,
Yes,
well,
yes,
isn't that nice? Let me get you guys somebody down here's from new accounts. Right. And she wanders off into the back with her little bowl now half full of smoked meats, right? And she comes out with a rotund and robust human gentleman, apparently human gentleman. And she now has her bowl refilled with smoked meats and puts that like a candy dish back on her desk. And this big human, slightly balding, but long hair everywhere else, just a forehead that goes a little further back than certainly he would like. Sort of stringy, scraggly beard, not really filled in all that well. And he's, good morning. It's wonderful to see all of you. I understand you're interested in a new account. I'm who am I? I'm Justin Rassick. That's who I am.
Right.
Yes, it's.
I'll stick out my hand to shake.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Welcome. Have you all had some smoked meat? And he grabs the bowl that was just put down and hands it, like offers it up to everyone again.
Another piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, wonderful. Carnivores. I love it. So, how can I help you?
Well, we've just opened a tavern on Troskull. The name's The Haunt. We were led here or pointed in your direction by Trincis Barleyborn.
Trincis, what a dear.
Yes, told us that you could supply us in the right way to keep a tavern well supplied.
Yeah, well, look. Trincis has steered you in the right direction for a, relatively speaking, nominal fee. We will have you with the finest meat products, and people will be coming from all over Waterdeep. You do have someone that knows how to cook it, yes?
Weirdly, I look at Exidia.
I've cooked animals before.
Insight check.
Okay, look here. Yeah, let's see it.
Oh my god!
I don't think she's lying.
That one. They definitely cooked meat before, for a fact.
At that, right? You go down a rabbit hole in your head, right? Of just, I wonder, like, Exidia is not from here and not really from the city, right? I wonder if they mean the same thing by cooking that I mean when I say cooking. I mean, we usually cook in a kitchen, but I can't imagine they have kitchens out in the wilderness. And you just get lost in that sort of thought spiral, right? And come to no conclusion as to whether or not they can actually cook because you're spending your time contemplating the meaning of the word cook. Meanwhile, Justin is like, okay, look, if it were the case, right, that you had the misfortune of dealing with the Municipal Meat Packers Union, right, then I've cooked animals before would be more than sufficient for the garbage they'd give you, right? But here at the Guild of Butchers, right, not only is that not acceptable, right, but I'm not going to leave you out there on that limb all by yourself. And he, off of a shelf close by, he grabs like 3 books, right, and just slams them down on the desk. These are yours, right, just so you don't give us a bad name. You look at them, they're all cookbooks.
Oh,
Huh.
bless your heart. I'll put my hand on my chest.
Well, I can't wait to come to the haunt and see what you do with the stuff. Now, let's get these papers signed, and you got to promise me you'll go see my boy Zoran over at the House of Light.
You know, you're actually the second person who's mentioned Zorn to us.
Yeah, we were on our way there next,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact.
Well, Princess really is a dear, isn't she? Just looking out for everyone. Well, Zoran's a lovely fella. I feel like he's been a little down on his luck. And certainly, right, could use some visitors, and he crosses his fingers, and hopefully some new business.
Certainly know what it's like to struggle with a business, so we will hope. I hope we can help.
What do you mean by struggle with a business? Is just that it's new territory for all of us, and we are going to improve with time. And I lift up one of the books, supply.
Yeah, all of the above. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, how about I swing by next week, see what you've done?
Beautiful, perfect.
Okie
Excellent.
dokie.
We'll have a table for you.
Wonderful. And he shows you to the door.
Okay.
I wonder, Exidio, would you actually be interested in learning this skill? And I'll lift up one of the books for her.
I mean, like when I say I've cooked animals, like it's definitely I've never prepared a dish before, but yeah, I'd try to learn. It'd
Great.
probably be a good idea to hire a cook, though.
I agree entirely. My passing skills, my mother taught me well, but it's sort of for home cooking, and her skills were also somewhat limited. So yeah, the better we can train someone and get them actually hired professionally, I'm sure we'd all find that a boon.
Forgot we gotta actually hire people.
House of
Well,
Lights?
and just to be clear, right? You do have to hire people, right? But mechanically speaking, that's all taken care of in the cost and income process that we went through. So unless you guys want to hire, right, for specific roleplay reasons or specific positions for whatever reason, like, don't feel like you have to now sit down and come up with a fucking work schedule for the haunt. Right, like
Right.
that clearly isn't necessary. But the flip side, like if it's like, oh no, like I want to have an interaction with this particular person, so I need to make sure we've got somebody in that role. Let's take some time. I get it, but don't feel like you have to do that. I want to make sure that no one's thinking to themselves, oh shit, next session, it's all going to be job interviews. No, fuck that.
Damn.
I just know. I believe Tyler has mentioned a few times the interest in the chef's feat,
Mhm.
and level 4 is the next level up. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect.
I pay
Excellent.
attention.
Well, on your way a little further, a little deeper into the trade ward, House of Light is never hard to miss, right? No one even bothers to give you directions, right? Because even at high noon, right, this thing shines like a beacon, right? It is just beaming constantly. It's certainly like it's really impressive actually at night, right? It looks quite like a beacon, shining into the night sky from the trade ward. And I mean, it's a little less impressive now, but just like that amount of and quality of light so bright in midday, that's still pretty fucking impressive. Um, you go in and there is a fairly, I mean, it's interesting. It fairly old looking elf, right? Which is weird for an elf, right? Weird's a little strong, but unusual, right? That dude's looking pretty wrinkly and pretty gray, and he just says, "Good morning. Are you here for torches or lanterns or magical light?"
Oh, well, magical light is certainly interesting. Hi, my name is Nindarin. We were pointed your way by Justin Arask and Trinalis Barleyborn, or Trinsis Barleyborn. They both recommended you highly. I'll admit, as familiar as I am with this city, I don't know that I've ever seen such specifications as the House of Light as a guild hall. You offer magical light, you say?
Well, yes, the use of various lighting implements for personal use is permitted and encouraged by the city with no need for guild membership. But in the case of places of business, it is strongly recommended that a guild is employed, if for no other reason than to minimize the possibility of fire.
Ah, that certainly sounds actually quite important.
Yes, the city is rather densely packed, and although there are many here with considerable magics, the loss of property and life can still be quite severe if care is not taken. And that is among the primary goals of this guild. So, what were you here inquiring about?
I'll admit I'm actually quite curious about your offers for magical light. I'll look at everyone else.
Heidi nods.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see how you create such a thing.
Well, the magics to create light are rather simple, available both natural, divine, and even arcane magics. I can have someone from a magical light department to come and talk to you. I believe Cranfor is available. He slowly pushes himself, places his palms on the desk and sort of pushes himself up and starts heading back into the depths of the building and comes back out with a much younger, spry fellow, super pale, sort of strawberry blonde hair, very long down to like the middle of his back, but very plain, just straight down, no adornments or anything. White robe, lots of gold and silver jewelry that it's pretty easy to tell is there to catch all the different light that's in this particular building and glitter in various ways. Cranfor's the name, Magical Light's the game. How can I help you this morning?
We have a new establishment that we are still working all of the issues out, and we were directed to you by a number of other guilds as the go-to for lighting up our new tavern.
Oh, well, wonderful. I mean, the beauty with Magical Light is you choose the right spells and or artifacts, and you don't have to worry about fire at all. You don't even have to invest in our fire insurance.
Perfect.
Well, and how large a place are we talking?
Well, I mean,
Ooh.
it's many stories, but I think we only really require magical light for the main floor, and then whichever other individuals we might want. Because I mean,
Understood. Well, one floor. Do any of you have any experience with magics?
yes.
I produce dancing lights.
Oh, well, one floor, and there's two of you that already knows magics. This will be super easy. This will be fantastic. How about if I come out in? He sort of looks up as he's thinking about it. How about if I come out in 3 days? I'll take a look at the space and we'll drop a contract in. I'm sure it'll be a nominal fee if you guys are going to be doing most of the magics yourselves.
Oh, I mean, I
I
can
think we could manage.
sure. Yeah, 3 day. Wait, is that when the butchers are coming? Should we schedule them for different days, all on one day?
I think we can manage to have more than one appointment in a day.
Right. I just you didn't want them to like over. Yeah, 3 days sounds great.
Wonderful. See you then, kid. He disappears into the back, and
I am
the
30.
receptionist slides a piece of paper forward on his desk. Well, if you would just write down your address and leave the small nominal fee to assure your first month's membership in the House of Light, we'd be happy to have you.
I'll let a local write down the address because I still don't know it.
We've been saying Troll Skull for days now.
I thought that was the building.
It's the street we're on.
But
The good news?
we were given Troll Skull Manor.
Right, it's the manor that's on Troll Skull.
Yeah, fantastic. You're both correct. Troll Skull Alley, Troll Skull Manor, and Troll Skull Alley.
Yep. How much are they asking for this initial fee?
It's like 10 gold.
Oh, okay. Katie, you got that?
Should I mark that off the thingy?
All right.
Well, you don't even have to mark it off the thingy. It's one of the things that Castle Lanterns are covering.
Included in cost.
Yeah.
Word. Excellent.
Hell yeah. Anything else while you're out and about? Or you're heading back to the alley?
I think just on our way back, I just verify with everyone on the team. We're good to be. If you all feel comfortable with the amount of association we're doing with guilds. I mean, I know it's going to come at a slightly higher cost, but it means we will always have supply and quality.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, great. I'll probably wait a little bit longer. Actually, no. I was considering maybe going to the House of Song, but I don't think that's actually a great idea, since I am still unlicensed, and it's going to be a while still before I can. Yeah, we'll worry about that later.
Wasn't Zardoz going to help you with that? And then we could.
Zardoz was going to offer me licensing so long as I performed in his facility, which is great. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to be taking full advantage of that, but I won't be permitted to perform outside of his domain. That's maybe not the right word, but
I see.
at least in an official capacity, I might be able to get away with like a little bit inside my own property, but like that.
What is stopping us from not us really, you from going and getting a license?
Oh, well, actually, it would be this. And he reaches into his back pocket and just produces deftly a letter. He says, I was actually enrolled at New Ulm. It is one of the premier universities for instrument makers and performers. However, I am not able to afford tuition, and things got a little complicated, and they will not allow me to acquire a license until I have finished my academic career, and I can't finish my academic career until I have made sufficient money to pay tuition. So, yeah.
Oh. That is very complicated.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully our establishment can get that money quickly then. I think
It's 600 gold for the rest of this semester. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it right now. It's just something that I'd like to be able to do. I mean, someone offered to pay me tuition, a very generous woman, noble woman in House Melchember. She liked my skills that she was able to hear when I was younger, and offered to pay for me to go to school, provided I was able to keep up academically. And I did fine, but it was also the first formal schooling I'd ever had, and it's harder than I would have liked it to have been, and I had to move home and lost my room, Actually, most of my belongings I had on campus are being effectively held hostage, as I found out. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I owe 600 gold to a university, and they hold both my personal belongings and my potential license as a professional performer.
Help? I mean, however we can help. It seems the sooner we get that wrapped up, the sooner. I mean, he just looks around at everyone else, right?
Heidi nods.
That's very generous, but 600 gold is a lot of money.
To be certain, yes. Far more than I have ever seen or owned. In fact, the money we've made is the most money I've ever had. So I agree, but this seems important. And well, I mean, it can only help the haunt in the long run, right? Two
It would
thumbs
be
up.
cheaper. As far as other sorts of helping goes, if you could figure out actually how to destroy one of these, I keep getting them, but it's like sometimes daily, sometimes weekly. And he like holds the letter out to you, and when he like tries to put it in your hand, it just sticks to his hand, and he can't let it go. And then he begins tearing it in half, but every time he tears it, like the pieces don't get smaller, and they just kind of keep accruing. Um, I, I can't.
At that moment, a bird swoops down and just consumes all of these bits of paper. Right. Which at first you're super excited about. And then you realize that this bird that is like sitting on your forearm as it's literally ripping these pieces of paper out of your hand and consuming them, that this bird itself, right, is also made of paper. And when it finishes consuming these little bits, you hear, "This is your 120-day notice of account delinquency."
I just point at the bird and look at everyone else and it's like, see?
Oh dear. Oh.
Yeah,
Can I
fascinating part about being in a college full of bards and creators. They're really fucking creative and really persistent.
Can I try and sacred flame the paper bird?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Is that a thingy that I have to know? That's a you
Saving throw.
roll, I think. Yeah.
Make the paper word do a dex
Yeah.
save, Adam.
I think my DC is 14.
All right, let's see what happens here.
I could have
Okay.
Eldritch blasted it, but I felt like right next to your face, like I guess sacred flaming right next to your face is not great either, but I don't know. In my mind it's less chaotic somehow.
Intentional destruction of a notice of delinquency is a felony by the code legal. Please do not tamper. And it starts to go up in flames. Do not tamper with the notice of delinquency. And it is consumed, right? And it, like at first it's burning just like you think paper would burn. And then it hits whatever magical, and it bursts into flames. And the ashes start to sprinkled to the ground. Yeah, and for the first time in at least 120 days, you do not have a notice of delinquency on you, Nim.
It's okay. They'll find me tomorrow. Yay!
Could everyone make me a perception check, please?
Oh
Oh, also, I've been saying 600. I just looked at my notes. It's 650.
It's 650.
no!
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
He said he has us covered.
Thank God. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, Exidia, you're sort of excited at first, right? Because what you hear, right? You haven't really heard it in a while, and you're sort of surprised to hear it in this setting, right? What it reminds you of is a sight and a sound, right, that you're familiar with from your time in less industrial environs and less built up environs. It is the sound of a giant flock of birds flapping
no.
their wings. Right? And you turn to admire this, and it's lovely, and your heart is sort of warmed at, seeing this vision that you haven't seen in some time. And you sort of tilt your head as you realize they're coming straight for the group of you. Right? And this is when Piety, right, sort of pokes you and is like, is that what I think it is? Right? Meanwhile, Nim and Corsonis are like whooping it up. Like, this is awesome. I can't, that thing's fucking gone. Like, whatever. And these things just keep coming closer and closer, and they're coming fast.
Hey, Kaz, you got good eyes. Are those made of paper, by chance?
If you're talking Oni, you're muted.
Oh.
Well, I can tell you that Kaz has excellent eyes, and Kaz just nods. Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
They are made of paper.
Yep.
And they're getting closer and closer.
Back to the haunt and then batten down the hatches.
Yep.
We should go.
They're almost on top of you at this point.
I'm
Fucking
sprinting.
running.
Everybody run.
Okay. You guys have to follow the streets, and these things do not.
Oh
I
I got you, right? Which is great. And so you're leading everybody on this high speed chase, right? But the birds overshoot you, and then you lose them, right? And
how
here's the
many
question.
approximately?
Like 30, 35
Oh,
is your best
God.
guess.
Okay. I am more than happy to burn. Well, I could burn some magic missiles on them. Just pelt some birds.
Yeah, you want to pelt some birds, go for it. Right. What level slot are you going to burn?
I mean, I've got 4 first and 2 second, and if
Oh my
let me do some math here.
Yeah, please.
8 and 12, so I could get 20 of the birds. That would leave us 10. It would also take all of my spell slots.
I'm not gonna ask you to kill birds. I'm just trying to get away.
I will instead light a torch with prestidigitation and catapult it at the swarm. Just trying to catch as many as I can.
Okay. Let's right. Let's do the following. Right. I mean, these birds are booking, right? And although they were coming straight for you, now that you guys are dodging and weaving and Nim is leading you through like alleys and shortcuts that wouldn't be apparent, to your average city dweller, these things are no longer in line with you, right? But what we're going to say is because the swarm is large enough, right? You're guaranteed to hit some of them, right? So let's say we'll roll a d20, right? And 1 through right, 1 through 4, it'll be one of them goes up in flames. 5 through 8, 2 of them, et cetera, et cetera. Does that sound reasonable? All right. Fantastic.
So you didn't go past 8.
Right. So you huck this torch into the air, right? And,
All right, run.
right. And 2 of these things just go up in flames, right? The torch, right, after it hits these 2 things, lands on a like first story roof to a porch.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Right. And you can see in the among the signs that are on the side of this building, right, is a sign. Actually, give me perception checks. Let's see if anybody can read this sign.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to also clarify. When I said I'm like flinging the torch in there, with Mage Hand, I would like to keep swinging it around. I was not clear.
Oh, so you're not using like the spell catapult?
Correct. I'm sorry. Yes.
I gotcha. Okay. So you're okay.
Technically, catapult should only hit like one thing. I'm just
right. Great.
Throwing
Love
the
it.
torch in there and then swinging it around.
Yeah. Okay. Love it. So you got 2 of these things, and we'll just say that you don't allow Mage Hand to get out of range so that the torch doesn't fall. Right. As you're running away, I would imagine if you've got the well, do you have the telekinetic feat?
I do, and I took Mage Hand
so
as
that
a cantrip,
it's
so that it
probably
extends
60
the
feet
range.
then.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I thought I remembered that. Great. So, okay, great. We don't have to worry about it. Just for shits and giggles, what the sign was going to say, just because I thought it was funny, is this business protected against fire by the House of Light.
Oh
no. Right. Anyway.
We got your business. Also cost you some insurance money. But...
Right. Great. So you guys are booking it back to Troll Skull Manor. A couple of these birds go up. A couple of these birds go up in flames. Then they shoot off in this other direction. Right. And you guys are weaving back. Right. When you get back to Troll Skull Alley and Troll Skull Manor, you encounter, right, a rather strange vision. And that is a couple strange things going on. First and foremost, right, is there are about 50 paper birds, right? That are just sitting on all levels of Troll Skull Manor. You know, they're on the front porch, they're on the different eaves of the roof. Basically, any even remotely horizontal surface. There's a paper bird there. And as you approach, right, almost in unison, you hear them squawk. This is your notice of 120-day delinquency. Destruction of a notice of delinquency is a violation of the Waterdeep Code legal.
Yep.
And then it's silent, right? And that's when you realize there's a human being sitting on your porch. And if I remember correctly, Kaz and Piety, right? You recognize this guy and his long, skinny pipe, right? That curves down to like his chest, and so the bowl of the pipe is literally like sitting against his chest. Victor Trench is sitting on your front porch, and as you all approach, he just says, "This all for you, boss."
Yep. Apparently.
And he just shrugs his shoulders. Your world, I'm done living in it. And he looks at Kaz and says, "Hey, boss, found your brother." Right, and he reaches up behind him to a piece of paper that has been nailed to your door. And he pulls it down and he extends it out for y'all. And it reads, Fight Night. Fight Night. And the date on it is in a 10-day from now. And it says, has a main event listed. And then as part of the undercard, right, it says Jax versus the Terrible Twins. No bet too big, no bet too small. And list the location as the Colot Towers. At which Victor Trench stands up, simply says, no cost for this one, boss. Just too easy. And starts blowing smoke rings as he's walking back to the Tiger's Eye.
Wow. I mean, that dude is fucking cool. Like, I can't lie.
That guy was great.
Yeah.
And unless anybody's got anything else, I think that is where we're going to call it for the evening.
Am I a fucking felon now?